well. That might make a difference, but I still have to side with GODSENT. Just the firepower in Lekro, in Flusha, in JW. It's kind of tough to go against that right now if you're Flipside.
Well, Markelov's going to be trying to start Flipside off in the best possible way from Connector. On the CT side, expect to see double ops as soon as Flipside can afford it. Markelov and WorldEdit will be picking one up each more often than not. WorldEdit is going to be trying to tap his way through the smoke, but it's actually Lekro that will claim first blood on Train. And that is Markelov down and out. Blade's been tagged up heavily, has to back off, and Schneider will be moving into Connector. It's going to cost him his life, though, and that does open up a little bit of leeway in which Flipside will be trying to move their way back into this round. Judging from where the positions are right now, Flipside should be favorites to at least get on the site and see if they can get more done. And here comes some more kills. Waylander with 2. And Flush has shown his position, so there's going to be a smoke to greet him, so it's going to make it that much harder for him to burst out and get anything done. But he tosses a grenade out just before he ends up getting killed. And now from the back, here comes JW with 2 kills. And that could be more than enough just by itself. As now Electronic is desperately trying to find the final terrorist member. The time is ticked down. JW living up to the Wonder Child, Nick. And what a clutch that proves to be.
I don't even know, bro. This is getting too much for me. I'm starting off that round thinking, oh, SK's anti-eco round. I like it. This is cool. You know, get that smoke down between the 2 trains and then flash your way through, run onto the site, right? I like it. I dig. And then I'm just thinking Flipside are hitting all their shots. There's no possible way until JW gets them to line up for him perfectly. He couldn't have asked for that. It's perfect. Doesn't get any better than that.
It looked like Flipside had that under wraps.
It did. I'm thinking JW with the rotate took way too long, and then Flipside get completely caught off guard, and JW's there to save the day. Bit of a sigh of relief there for any of the GODSENT fans in the crowd, for GODSENT themselves, I'm pretty sure. Maybe a chuckle too, but 1-0 lead now for GODSENT, having won the pistol side on the T-side train. That's a big deal. Now they get the strong start, they get the guns. Whereas Flipside will be going for the force buy, although WorldEdit is still prioritizing that AWP. Not too big an investment from him.
Well, Alan needs to be careful. He is dicing with death there. Very close to burning out. JW's taking a lot of damage. It'll be Flusher to end Waylander. Smoke down as well allows him to reload and relocate too. Now looking up towards the catwalk side. Does pick off WorldEdit. And this should now be a formality with Flipside bowing out. Or have I spoke too soon? Electronics in with 1 alongside Blade. They still have Markelov and Blade, but they don't have a kit. They don't have utility to try and get that defuse. And GODSENT, all they really have to do at this point is just wait. Bide their time, peek one after another. Markelov's picked himself up a kill, and now it's just down to Schneider. But for the time being, he's playing this one spot on. He's not showing himself too much. He's wanting to make sure that bomb isn't being defused. Now there's just not enough time. Flipside will concede the second round, but they take down all 5 players with them and keep an AK alive. That is a successful round.
Schneider deserved to go up with the bomb there just because he blew up Pronax with an HE grenade. Just saying. You're going to take down Pronax. I mean, Pronax, he's a kind guy. You know, you saw him chuckling there at the end. You know, a little bit of a laugh from him. So he wasn't taking it too seriously. But Schneider, we got our eye on you. I mean, I'm actually, yeah, how did GODSENT allow that? It's interesting because there's quite a few, there was so much hesitation on GODSENT's side there. It took Flusha ages to get over there and stop Waylander from shooting JW to pieces. And they never really took the offense, right? They just, this is one thing actually, GODSENT, you know, they're never really taking the offense in these outside, in these afterplans, at least in the first 2 rounds that we've seen. They really are allowing Flipside to set the pace with the retakes. And you don't really want Flipside to get too comfortable. I mean, Electronic can hit crazy shots, WorldEdit when he wants to as well. Hell, even Markelov can come alive sometimes, so. Let's see, Markelov long range, perfect sort of scenario for him with that AK. He's going to do a lot of damage, and he is going to, well, help Waylander at least pick up a kill.
Oh, Markelov with that AK doing so much damage on the approach onto the site. Nearly just got the frag outright. I think that was onto JW who dropped down. Similar kind of setup to the last round with Schneider. Just waiting in the wings. And again, GODSENT are taking heavy casualties in a round that Flipside had no real investment into. They've got weapons here and there, but now Schneider's in a horrible position where he has to go for the peak, and he's gonna get picked off. Flipside have got the round. They just had an AK coming through into this. Today's opposite world in CS.
It is. It is. We've had 2 upsets so far today. Why not 3, Metas? Hell, why not 4? There's still another match coming up after this in the first round of these group phases. But yeah, I'm not seeing it from GODSENT at all right now. Flipside are the ones who are looking pretty hungry. If it weren't for the loss of the pistol, with how these last 2 rounds have gone, Flipside, I mean, they're hitting their shots, they're playing aggressive, they're supporting each other well. GODSENT, however, definitely not quite on point. So let's see. I mean, are they going to be able to change it up? It's going to be the rush onto B site here, and Waylander's there to greet him with the help of Markelov. It's a slaughter, and the bomb is committed as well. So just like that, GODSENT trying to change up the pace, gets slapped.
We saw the result of the previous rounds where GODSENT were losing too many players. They came into this with, I think, a Tech 9 and a Deagle, as opposed to rifles. So it's going to hurt them a great deal. Maybe funneled into the fact that they went in for a full-on rush down ramp instead of more strategic play. And they're just getting picked off one by one. Very unlikely JW gets anything out of this with 26 health. And there we go. Flipside, flawless round. Don't lose a single player. It's going to do the world of good to their economy.
Yeah, no, this is the comeback, really, off of a hard eco as well. Look at that. You got 2 guys already above 7,000, 1 above 6,000, and the other 2, Blade and Waylander, sitting around 3K. This is fantastic. It's just that complete and utter 180. You get a hard eco for GODSENT, and now it's Flipside's turn to farm up. And this is nightmarish for GODSENT. They managed to pick up the pistol, and they don't pick up the 3 rounds on T-side train, and now Flipside are just going to be perfectly positioned to ruin their day. No grenades here to help get out onto this B site either. They really are going to cross their fingers and hope that they can just rush down whoever's going to be holding close. That's Waylander, once again supported by Markelov.
I like that Waylander's playing close to the site as well. It doesn't allow GODSENT to just rush out, just waterfall out and get a plant, which is ultimately what this entire strat is about. They've got nothing into this, 0 investment, and Waylander close range is doing the damage. However, this bomb could end up getting planted, so GODSENT's mission has been accomplished. This is going to tick over their economy nicely. Of course, they're not going to win from this point as Markov comes in for his triple.
Just checking real quick.
A bomb plant's a bomb plant at the end of the day for GODSENT.
That's exactly it, actually. The money now is going to be very solid going into this next round. 5,000 across the board, in fact, for GODSENT. So that 1 bomb plant made the difference. Now they can go for the full buy, all of the nades, and it allows Pronax basically to call whatever he wants. There is no AWP picked up, but I don't think that he's going to be caring too much about that. It's more the idea of, okay, whatever strats that we've been practicing, now we have all the tools necessary to go ahead and execute that. So 2-3, Flipside in the lead now on the CT side of train. And we get to see what GODSENT have in store for us here, because so far they've been looking pretty shaky.
Definitely be a strong case made for that. JW, though, is going to land the first shot into Wall, and it's the AWP is dead and buried. It can be picked up, easily salvaged in the Ivy side. I believe it just the smoke will give them back that weapon, and a bunch of their players can use the AWP, so it's not the end of the world, but of course it is a great opening pick for GODSENT. We are going to keep a player over an Ivy, so it's going to keep the options open, keep Flipside on their back toes.
We can give it to JW. That was a pretty sexy shot.
Oh, yeah.
With that AK, it still just feels weird to me not to see. I mean, I think forever, it will forever feel weird to me not to see JW with an AWP and prioritizing an AWP when he had the money to go for one, even if it would have been glass cannon. There's always going to be in the back of your head that the glory days for JW when he just dominated outright with an AWP. Well, Lekro going to throw himself to the wolves, but he actually manages to pull their fangs before they actually managed to pick up the kill. Lekro with the kill on B site. In the meantime, his teammates charging out onto A.
And now you can see why the AKs were picked up as a result of the AWP. They wanted to push and probe multiple angles at the same time. A couple of fakes thrown out there all at once. So incredibly strong round by GODSENT after they were struggling so much. And I mean, that in its form is where Pronax is so dominant. His calling is second to none. Yeah,
it's just a chaos round, basically. Off of JW, starting off strong. They're just throwing things out there. Lekro also. I mean, basically, that round came down to duels. So when you say chaos round, it's just like, go have fun, kids. Like, just go look for headshots everywhere. And, well, it actually managed to work out there for GODSENT. World Edit will be able to spot somebody moving around at alley. That's JW once again. But no joy for JW this time around. He's not going to find that initial pick. Might be able to, well, deal a little bit of damage to World Edit. Drops him down to 80. And then gets picked promptly. So there we go. Now it's Flipside with the man advantage in this situation.
Well, it did take a bit more damage. He's down to 80, now down at 21. So a real brawl between the two of them. And it's going to sit at 1-1 in the exact same position. Although, to be fair to JW, he did wreck World Edit without taking a scratch the last time the two faced off against each other. So he does have the slight advantage. But Flipside looking a whole lot better into this round in the early stages. Looks like GODSENT have decided that B is the site that could see them successful. But once again, Wayland is here up close and personal. They've also got Markelov at the back. And a third player is going to be coming in too. So this is a lot to ask for. Flusher gets plucked out of midair courtesy of Waylander's M4A4. And Lekro does answer back. Could afford them a bomb plant onto B. But the rotate and the retake should be on point here for Flipside, considering the low HP that the terrorists are currently sitting on Schneider. And now it is going to be down to Markelov to try and rinse them out. And he's not able to do it. 2-on-2 now. And Will Let It is spotting the toes of the terrorist Lekro just underneath the train. That gives him the information, but he still ends up dying. Lekro up against Blade. A one-on-one duel to the death with the bomb planted. It's going to put so much pressure on the shoulders of Blade, but he comes out ahead, lands the frag, and does just about have enough time for a defuse on top of it. Well played.
Just barely in the nick of time. The retake for Flipside, and Blade going toe-to-toe with Lekro as well. You're expecting Lekro to come out ahead on that one. Pretty surprised to see World Edit struggling so much as well to find that kill at the end there, especially since he had the information. He knew where the guy was. It's like the slowest peak ever. But Flipside, that's the important bit, is that they come out ahead. 4-3 now, lead for them, but GODSENT still going to go for the buy. And no, GODSENT, you know, they have not defected to Russia, and Flipside have not defected to Sweden. Just want to point that out real quick.
Yes, the flags are indeed reversed. World Edit 2 for 1 now. Does pick off JW again. I wonder if JW is going to have second thoughts about trying to show himself up there again. Schneider does answer back, so once again we're in a similar position, a 4-on-4, with GODSENT trying to find a weakness in the armor. There we go, they've been fixed.
Excellent, excellent. It was throwing my head out of whack there for a second. I was like, what? I could have swore Flipside were on the CT side. All right. But a man advantage situation, this is not. It is 4v4. And once again, GODSENT actually have zero interest in the A side, it seems, apart from that Chaos round where they actually just rotated over to it. When it comes to the setups, they just want to get onto that B side. They are getting bomb plants. I think that's probably the driving factor here, is the fact that they consistently get the bomb down here on B side. Now it's a matter of holding. Last round was a fluke. It's a 1v1. It could have gone either way. This time, Waylander again starts off strong. 2 kills for him. Nearly picks up a third.
So intelligent as well to bide his time. He could hear those footsteps from a mile away. Wanted to make sure they lined up for him. 30 seconds left. Flusher should be getting the drop onto Markelov. He's going to bide his time a little while longer, hoping a second CT comes out, and he will be given his reward. Patience of virtue with 2 kills. He could very well get himself a third, but he gets bested by Electronic, and again the 1v1 clutch goes the way of Flipside.
Did that guy just do a 360? I was about to say, like, he was just going to style there. All right.
A little victory dance.
Let's get the defuse. Let's not mess this up. But that was so intelligent from Flusher, just watching it, trying to maximize that situation as best he could. If his teammate could have stayed alive just a little bit longer, that would have been a remarkable situation for Flusher, really. Look at this. It all just pans out so neat. World Edit finds the pick just as he's taking the shots. That's so unfortunate that he isn't able to carry it through. 3-5, Flipside in the lead. I didn't catch whether that was a tactical timeout. Let's see. Pause, and we are actually asking for an admin, so it's not a tactical.
Hopefully we'll get confirmation as to what's happening soon, so we can relay that to you guys. But for the time being, we are going to be waiting a little while longer. So 5-3, as Flipside will be leading on their CT side of Train. I am a little bit surprised. I think you were kind of touching on it earlier that GODSENT haven't tried more set plays on A. I feel like maybe that could be on the horizon, because typically they have just been probing on the B side.
They have only been going B.
Yep.
And I mean, B can be good. I mean, if you're confident in your ability to just get out there. I mean, look at that. Waylander sets it all up, manages to drop 2 players, and they still turn it into a 1v1 somehow. And so these sorts of rounds really are just coming down to the clutch situations. And well, unfortunately for GODSENT, these 2 1v1s have gone Flipside's way. So, I mean, that's close enough where you can start thinking, okay, well, we can still make this happen, right? We can still go over there. But on this half buy, might be a straight force buy, actually, depending here. Yeah, the force buy, actually. Tech 9s, a single rifle and a UMP. GODSENT are going to go towards that A site, and they're going for the exact same strategy that they used for the pistol, taking it out of SK's playbook, and it's working perfectly until they run into World Edit and Markelov.
Oh, Lecro, how much damage can you do? There's one kill. JW, in the meanwhile, has also put down an extra player on Flipside, so they're keeping themselves somehow in this round. The bomb's in such a horrendous position, though, for the terrorists to try and salvage. Molotov could force away, and JW, in the meanwhile, is going to try and wrap himself around the back towards the T-spawn. Maybe that could best Blade, who has got his back to the T-main at the moment. But even if they can get the frag onto Blade, it's still asking so much with Lecro low and just the UMP in hand.
Have to give it to Lecro, though. He's playing this perfectly, just staying alive, not over-peaking. That gives JW the room to work. He gets 2 kills, up to 3 total. And now it's on Waylander, 1v2. With 40 seconds left, they have time to play. Now there's the positioning that's been given away. That sets it up for that combo. If only Lecro had a little bit more HP, and Waylander seems to get a bead on this. He's got a read on it. He sees that Lecro's worked his way out, or not quite, but he gets a sense that Lecro could be close, and he will get flanked in the end by Lecro. Excellent team play from GODSENT. Lecro staying alive, but more importantly, then JW drawing attention to himself after getting both kills, allowing Lecro to move forward.
That is absolutely nutty. That was, what, a 4v2, I believe, that GODSENT just won. JW with the UMP spray. And they went for a force buy because Flipside's economy was so low, and now you're seeing the result of that. Where they're into Deagles, they're into P250s, into USPs. So GODSENT have managed to do it. They've managed to break Flipside. This is where they've got to continue the pace. They've got to continue the pressure that's being applied and not let up, because Flipside's T side is honestly quite poor. So if they don't get too many rounds on this CT side, they will just slip away.
Well, let's see how this pans out here, because let's keep in mind that Flipside won the 3rd round after losing the pistol, and it was pretty much a hard eco. Never give up, basically. But Flipside this time around, all they've got is 2 UMPs. They haven't succeeded in getting the drop on anybody. In fact, they've only really done a little bit of damage to Flusha. Flusha gets headshot. Nice. But again, UMP. So not exactly ideal. And it's just going to be Schneider charging in there. I like it. You know, good team play. Flusha's just like, hey, you got more HP. Go get the kill. Go make some money with that UMP. That's perfect. Very smart play, coming down to the details there. But 5-5 now. They've tied it up. GODSENT, they brought it back after those 2 unfortunate losses in the clutch. And it's going to be, what? 3 rifles, a sniper rifle, the AWP, and a UMP on electronic here for Flipside. Hardly any nades to speak of either. They really don't want GODSENT to get up to 6 rounds, so they are going for a big risk here in this one. And World Edit, feel like we got to look to you with that AWP to actually create something here, to make something happen for your team. You've got the best firepower out of the bunch.
And that's where all this economic turmoil really came from in the first place. It was created by those 2 rounds where they managed to clutch, but with 1 player left. However, the first kill does go the way of Flipside. It's going to be Blade with his FAMAS. And Lecro's top fragging for GODSENT is dead and buried. There's JW again. Deja vu from earlier in that exact same position. It's going to be the same result. 1-tapping World Edit. Just as we were saying how important that AWP could end up being. JW's now going to come through, try to spray his way to victory. There's another frag. Blade does finally silence him. But again, it's forcing 2 players out onto the Ivy side. And Markov just killed... What? What happened there?
I don't think any of us want to know.
Yeah, probably best unsaid, to be honest. They're right next to each other.
This is still Markelov, though. This is still Markelov. There is a chance. Actually, no, the bomb is rotated over to the B site. So, imagine that Markelov is going to try and save this gun, considering they took a huge risk this round Flipside and going for that force buy. This is all they've got. Unless he can get the kill on Flusha here immediately. And that's almost feels just like luck of the draw that he's going to be looking the right place, the right way, at the right time. Flusha willing to hunt right now, and they're going to walk right by each other. Okay, let's see. Markelov, this is like the epic game of hide and seek right now, and you're winning. And he will actually save this gun, unless Flusha comes back around, unless some sixth sense, you know, kicks in. He starts thinking that he might be up in sniper, but that's just not going to be the case. Okay, so let's see here. I mean, because now, Flipside, they're just going to have this AWP. It's all they're going to have to work with. They could try and invest like in P250s, maybe a flash, something like that, but they shouldn't be going for the force in this round. And so this really allows GODSENT to continue to build. We should see GODSENT get up to 7 rounds now, barring some kind of magical play. Like I said, this is Markelov with the AWP. Anything is possible.
It is. He has those 30 bomb performances in him still. And you do see them rear their heads now and again. I think this is one time where that would be certainly required if Flipside wanted to bring their way back into this.
Well, Schneider with the op for GODSENT. What is this abomination? All right. He's got the AWP instead of JW, and he misses the shot to start. But I do like to see that GODSENT really have appropriated that smoke going down in the middle of the A courtyard there. Really making life difficult for Flipside. They have to wonder, is there going to be some kind of push out onto the A side? Are they playing up close to the smoke? It creates so much space. In the meantime, GODSENT just so passive. They've got Brown Hall's control about until Waylander goes for the peek here, but he refuses to commit. He's just waiting for somebody to come and face check this. They have 2 Molotovs. Flusha still has one as well. He could use it to clear out that upper level around the corner.
Yeah, playing super passive. I'm pretty sure they've got to read that Flipside have very little economy, so it's pistols. So I doubt they want to just force their way into a site without scouting a bit of information and potentially walking into a stack trap. Maybe waiting for Flipside to go walkies, look for some info of their own. Well, I was about to say that could very well get them some rewards, but a missed shot. Schneider finally lands one through the wall, and Blade's down to 11. 30 seconds left though here, Semler, and Markolov's got himself the first kill. What is happening? This could actually go the way of Flipside if Markov can continue the pace. The problem is the rest of his team are being swept aside. Wallet with a P250 will take out Flusha. But there we go, the revenge is forthcoming. It's all on Markolov now.
Swift and Markolov wins the duel versus Schneider. Could get the follow-up. He gets the leg shot on a JW. Okay then. Down to 17 HP on JW, and it looks like Markolov knows it. Had he hit that shot on Lekro? It's not going to happen. Lekro holding close, and the flash drawing him off. Markolov, he might actually have to reload an AWP. Not something we see happen too often. But that bomb is ticked way down. He has no kit, and they've done a successful job so far, GODSENT, of staying alive with the remaining 2 players. There's just not enough time here for Markolov to make the hero play. Looks like he's been spotted as well. There's the shot again. Markolov making this so expensive. But it doesn't matter. In the end, GODSENT are going to win the round, and they have the bank.
Yeah, they have more than enough to replenish the lost weapons. Markolov will keep the AWP, though. So, again, they went into that round with an AWP and pistols, and they come out with it with an AWP. And this is the wallbang shot that Blade just gets winged on his way out there. So close to a kill.
So sick. Nice shot. Well, now Schneider just has to work on hitting them when they aren't behind, you know, walls, and he'll be fine. He'll do great.
Yeah, what that clip didn't show you is he missed like 2 shots before when Blade had shown himself. Such is the way of CS sometimes. Blade is walking headfirst into Lekro, realizes it afterwards, and we'll put him down. And that's Lekro all by himself on A. And this fake isn't really going to work because now they're like, well, Lekro's by himself. It's pretty obvious it's some kind of a diversion tactic, and here comes Waylander again, who's been a rock-solid member on the B side. Markolov finishes what Waylander started onto Schneider, and once again, it could be a case of maybe that bomb being planted. He's actually dropped in a pretty sketchy position that Flusha has to try and fend off for a little while longer. JW has the bomb at the back near the ramp, and his days are surely numbered. A minute to play with, but he's now stuck. If he goes back out to the ramp, he's not likely going to die. Down to 10.
Woo! That was close.
What is happening? Okay,
Nearly gets the shot on a world edit as well. Nearly gets the kill there.
I was going to say, come on, boys.
But I love me some DM metas. Deathmatch every day. That's what it feels like right now, watching these 2 teams go at it, to be frank. Apart from that clever play there from Lekro. Nice attempt. It's just, you know, poor timing there for Blade to be walking in through the smoke at the same time as him, right? Blade going with the mind games of his own, wanting to check on the other side of that smoke to see. So it didn't really pan out, but then, yeah, it just turns into a game of deathmatch. And Waylander right now is hitting quite a few shots over there on the B side. World Edit decides to play it safe, a little bit of a reception, but it's not going to do any damage. He gets that smoke down in time. Not sure if he spotted the fact that the bomb was over there, though. But there are still 4 players on the A site right now for Flipside.
Flipside playing a little bit more passively. Well, Let It doesn't want to peek again. He's already been bested a couple of times by JW, who is now going to be pushing down Ivy by himself. Going to try and use that smoke to his advantage. Electronic, eagle-eyed on the cross. Another smoke comes out, and JW is actually just going to sit slap bang in the middle of that smoke. Going to pop flash his way through to the CT side of Ivy. 6 health left. He's been wrecked by Electronic through the smoke, but he will be able to just charge back towards the T spawn.
And in the meantime, GODSENT are going towards the B site. They're done with A. That's it. Enough of that. Time to go back to B. And there's the first shot. Pronax walking right into World Edit. Second shot from World Edit. Let's see if the third will connect. World Edit, he's still alive, and he's nearly going to hit that one.
JW down to 6 still as he's trying to wrap himself around the back. His teammates have got the bomb planted, but they have no nades to use now. They have to come down to some impressive aim. Lekro's not up to the task in his flush up. Well, good for one, but it wasn't a clean kill. He's down to 1. Just 7 health between the remaining terrorists. The bomb's been defused in amongst all the chaos. And I can kind of understand why for GODSENT there. Both of them are low. They're both like, do we, don't we? The smoke's down. There's so many variables. In the end, though, it will be 7-7.
And Lekro gets an AK as well out of that. So, I mean, they're going to have both teams fully bought up, which is a pleasure to see because now we really get to see the measure of them. 7-7, tied up. And Flipside on the CT side, desperately hoping that they'll be able to claim this 15th round, bring it to their side, get them in the lead at least going into the second half here. But there's the shot and there's the miss. World Edit not going to be able to get it. And the follow-up is there potentially. JW just waiting for him to overstep. Not going to get the timing, unfortunately.
I could be wrong here, Sam, and correct me if I am. I think this is the first time we've seen JW with the AWP on the T side.
This round, yeah, this half, yeah.
The very last round of the first half. Maybe we'll see it more on the CT side. Yeah, I've typically gone for those full AK stacks, or Schneider was using the AWP earlier. Waylander down to 67. JW and Will Let It both utilizing their AWP up Ivy.
Well, JW is one of those players, one of those oppers, right, who never fully seemed to recover after the multiple op nerfs that came in from Valve. Never really got his flow going again. When he was potentially at one point, yeah, one of the most competent top 2, oppers in the world.
Yeah.
Him, Kenny, what they were capable of doing with the op was unbelievable. So it is a bit painful to see him going, I mean, for that long time. He was in the depths of despair when he was going for sawn-off shotguns and other garbage like that instead of actually going for the AWP.
Well, here comes Schneider. Pronax is going to go down to Electronic on the boost. I think it's the first time we've really seen this from the CTs as well. 30 seconds left. Electronic has no reason to move. It's such a potent position when A is being aggressed on. He picks up a third as well. He's been tagged down excessively low, but he has Waylander and Will Let It to rest on if needs be. And just from him spamming through the smoke, that's stopping the bomb being planted. So he's doing so much work for his team, and Waylander comes in from behind to secure it.
So they will succeed in picking up that 8th round. Flipside. Solid work from them. And a good recovery, because it did look like there was a moment there in the half where they would be able to run away with it, GODSENT, where it was just going to get out of hand, out of control, and GODSENT could just take off with this first half. But instead, 8-7, they still managed to recover a few rounds. And so going into the second half now, we're going to get to see that mastermind of Blade, get to work. Because he can be a monster with the calls. He's sitting at 8 kills right now, but it is pretty close from top to bottom on Flipside. Low double digits, high single digits.
And Markelov is a team player right now. 11 kills, 9 assists. You don't often see that.
That high on the assists, yeah, no, it doesn't happen too often. But what I'm curious to see is whether Blade is going to incorporate this smoke as well. That's been going down in A courtyard. We've really seen, I mean, it's been around for a while. It's not like it's a magical new thing, but SK put it to good use not too long ago. And now we saw that multiple times being used by GODSENT to try and create space, by Lekro trying to fake. And so I'm curious to see if Blade has tried to work that into his playbook here to actually try and play off of that smoke, or if he's got something else in mind, because when I think Flipside, I also think default, very standard stuff coming out from them.
No, you're spot on. I've seen Flipside play this map a hell of a lot lately, and typically in rifle rounds, they're incredibly slow on their defaults as well. It becomes quite predictable, actually, and I think GODSENT, Pronax in particular, is going to call that. So I'm hoping to see more explosive, fast rounds by Flipside, more quick pushes. Try and catch GODSENT unawares. However, second pistol is in effect. JW has taken a whole bunch of damage alongside Pronax, so the early stages of this round would certainly point towards Flipside, but of course those USPs just require the one shot and everything can be turned off.
That one-shot headshot potential. Pew-pew lasers. So far, Flipside in this default approach, they've actually done a fairly good job of beating GODSENT up. JW down to 13, Pronax down to half. And GODSENT still no closer to figuring out exactly what Flipside have in store for them, although The smoke's raining in, and it is the smoke that goes down between the trains. So clearly, Flipside, they've done their homework. They still have one flash. That's going to be Blade throwing it out. Or, yep, there it is, but it doesn't stop Pronax from getting 2 headshots somehow. As they come through, Lekro finds one of his own.
Well, Blade was going to answer back, but the bulk of his team have all just been eviscerated. Markelov be disappointed he didn't finish off that frag, and now Blade, with it all to do, can't get it done. 8-8, and GODSENT, that's a huge step forward, I would say, towards them reaching the finish line. I know it's still early days in the second half, but I feel like Flipside really needed that pistol.
Yeah, both pistols getting picked up now by GODSENT. And that's usually the recipe for success, that you want to get those pistols. You're going to get those rounds behind it. Flipside not going to take any risks with a force buy here in this round. They really are going to focus on hopefully getting a bomb plant. If they can get a bomb plant and don't overinvest in this round, well, never mind. They're going for delayed buys. They're spending a little bit more of their money than I thought they would. Because if you had some kind of confidence in your ability to get the bomb plant in the second round, if you're not spending that much money, you might be able to go for a buy in the third. Same way as if you would have got the bomb plant in the pistol, right? So there are options there. It's not often that we see the T-side really go for that kind of play, though, and this is why. Too tempting to go for the Kevlar Deeg, for the Kevlar Tech 9.
Well, oddly enough, Flipside into this round with 3 Deagles, I mean, they could just end up getting edged out. But when you're against 4 SMGs, the long range actually probably does favor Flipside slightly now. So, curious to see how GODSENT pop into this round as a result. They've heard the Deagles rattling out early on. World, and it's already down to 10, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. Flipside, incredibly slow on their T-half.
And Flipside showing the same sort of strategy that GODSENT had in their second and third rounds.
Whoops.
It's going to be the B-side play, and certainly they're going to get that bomb plant down. Flusha does find a headshot on Waylander, but Electronic is there to shut him down, and the bomb plant is going to happen. Blade, perfect, gets it done. And so there's the bonus money for Flipside.
That's what they're looking for. Can they finish this off? This Deagles is Tech 9 P250. Close range things to get done, but Lekro is going to TK onto Schneider. Does at least pick up the kill into Electronic, in fairness. Now Markelov and World Let It have the Deagles. Can they channel their Quans and land some taps here? Markov is burning to a crisp. Peeks out into the open. GODSENT will take the round as expected. But Flipside with 1 plant and 2 kills is not too shabby at all.
It was a close call there for a second. It looked like he was about to get it, but too quick, too good the defense. And GODSENT, they continue to extend their lead, 9-8. And Flipside, they're just hoping for another bomb plant. Blade, who is saving his money, manages to get up to 4250 in this round, but the rest of his teammates, the ones who spent money in the last round, just not going to have the economy to go for the buy. And so we're going to see Flipside again. Very patient stuff from them. Blade setting up for his smoke flash combo that will be coming shortly, as his teammates have now gathered up outside of Alley. They're looking to just rush Pronax down if they can.
As with Pronax hearing those bullets, you better believe he's not going to stick around too long. Smoking out, allowing him options now. And this also puts Flipside in position. They're not entirely sure if there is going to be a stack there or not. JW, in amongst all the chaos, though, will spray down to Blade as Waylander also goes down. Pronax has just held the position. There's no reason for him to peek. Oh, that timing could not have been worse. That is absolutely ridiculous. I would be tilting so hard if I was Pronax right now. But it's all good because the rest of his team are doing the work as well. JW's UMP sprays down, knows that Markelov has to relocate, otherwise he'll burn to death. And it ends up being nearly flawless by GODSENT. So 2-round lead now. Flipside will be into rifles.
And that's really building the money. Now, does JW go for the AWP? Make it the priority. Take the fight to World Edit. No. He gets traded instead. He passes off his UMP to Lekro, and it looks like they trade for an M4. 6,900 in the bank for JW, and not going for the sniper rifle. Okay. So World Edit is going to have his on Flipside. There is the full buy on Flipside. But GODSENT still kind of skimping a little bit. Lekro staying on that UMP. He's going upper dark, though, and the goal here for him is to find that 1 kill. He is backed up by Schneider as well, and by Flusha. 3 players with a 4th waiting under Pop Dog. This is crazy from GODSENT. They're looking to just take the fight, but Electronic farms 2 kills. Flusha, does he actually commit to this or not? Looks like he's going to hesitate, and that's going to cost him a man advantage now for Flipside. JW, is he going to find somebody or not? There's the flash. It's perfect, and he gets the first kill, gets the second as well. They just drop right into his arms.
Wow. give wrapped 2 kills out of nowhere, and the table's now turning in GODSENT's favor. It was looking so poor for them after Electronic spraying down the 2 aggressors earlier in the round. JW's going to hold position as well in Pop Dog. Flipside with 50 seconds left have a decision to make. Do they want to just try and barrel down on the B side? They haven't really got a great deal of information as to where the CTs are currently positioned. All they know is that JW is last seen in Pop.
That really was a gift to JW, especially after that effective defense from Flipside from Electronic, denying the kills to GODSENT with the pushed upper dark. Doesn't get much better than that. JW, of course, going to deliver, and Flusha will find World Edit looking the wrong way. Heartbreaking if you're a Flipside fan. Nothing seems to be working. Markelov going to get toasted down to 30 HP now, and he's just hoping to get the bomb plant. That's the best case scenario here for him. JW is close and will get the kill, but no deny on the bomb plant. So, and he looks away from the op because I guess he knows that somebody's going to be able to pick it up in time.
Oh, you'd assume that someone would pick up the op at this stage. Yeah,
there we go.
Take it.
Now the question is whether Schneider gets it. Or does Flusha keep it for this round? Flusha also a capable opper. There are a few scenarios that could be run here by GODSENT. 11-8 for them in the lead. They continue to extend it, and Electronic has actually gone for an auto shotty. I don't even know what to think. Is he looking to take the fight with JW in the next round here?
Oh man, that replay just showing that the 2 kills that JW picked off, they actually flashed themselves. Rip. Flusher is going to keep his up because he had the best spawn to actually check on the box halls. Doesn't narrowly miss out on the shot. XM also picked up by World Edit, which would suggest more of a quick-paced round, or at least quick-paced execution.
Hush, Metas. That does not exist in Flipside's playbook. We must wait until there are 30 seconds left in the round.
Why, it's so frustrating to watch them, though.
But we have seen it in the past. Blade has tried to throw quick plays in there, but it really does feel like it goes against the grain. That Flipside, that is just not a part of their system, a part of their philosophy when it comes to the game of CS to go for aggressive rounds. Instead, they want to wait, get map control. They are like old Na'Vi.
It is honestly the definition of insanity, though, because Flipside's, I've seen them so many times just run into a brick wall over and over again, but not shift anything up. It's just the same over and over again. It doesn't yield too many results.
Teams start to get to know what to expect, right?
Yeah. That's why I wouldn't be against the idea of just an all-out rush. You know, a couple smokes and flashes charge out there, and then GODSENT can't be 100% that you are going to play slow every time. That's going to be in the back of their mind. JW, in the meanwhile, is going to put down 1 and a second. Well played to shut down the team main push. And Flipside dropping like flies in their T-half. Isn't really showing a great deal. I mean, he did get an XM frag before he died. I guess that's something to be happy about, but their economy certainly isn't.
That does actually kind of guarantee his AWP in the next round. He could even make an investment into a P250 or something along those lines this round if he wanted to World Edit. That bonus money from the shotty kill, 4,400 in the bank. There we go. He gets a deagle. He treats himself. But it's still 12-8. GODSENT in the lead, fully bought up. Flusha holding onto the AWP. Not the same scenario as in the last round. He's not going to go for that peak and brown halls. But Lekro will. This is a little bit scary, but the perfect flash opening, and Waylander completely blind. And now dead.
So the first half ended 8-7, now 12-8. GODSENT have not been knocked down just yet on their CT side. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case here either in round 21. Oh, hello. World Edit with a tasty one tap onto Lekro. It's going to keep GODSENT honest on the B side. Flusher is going to have to expend a bit of utility as a result. And World Edit will watch that smoke bloom on the ramp. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is starting to move back onto the T side of things. Pop Dog T main and also outside of T spawn. Electronic does land himself a shot, so maybe this round isn't over just yet. Schneider will get the spray. 50 seconds left now. They're going to start to push in, but Flush has had more than enough time to get himself across to the side of the map, leaving Electronic. He gets finished off with the very last bullet by Schneider. And 13-8 will indeed be the score. Flipside will have another buy. What can they get done?
Oh, this is really the point of no return for Flipside. They need to put a stop to this right now. They need to go plowing into GODSENT. Time to change up the pace. Yes, GODSENT are going to have anti-rush nades. They're going to have the necessary grenades, the utility to stop. But if they can keep holding on to most of their utility later on into the round because they know you're not going to go for any early aggro, well then, Flipside, it's getting a little predictable. Although Markelov is going to be prepared for this. Pronax and JW going for the aggressive push towards Alley. There's the flash, the peek behind it. Blade watching from T-Main as well. Now they need to just engage, find the shot. JW with that angle and Markelov with the shoulder peek. Not successful, not going to bait out the kill in the end.
Seems like a bit of a stalemate up long right now. JW, oh, actually, I feel like Pronax going in front of him got them both killed. He didn't want to pull the trigger.
I agree.
Very unfortunate set of circumstances, but Flipside are going to take a 2-0 lead in terms of manpower in this round.
This is definitely just a little bit silly in this round. It does seem like that might prompt the rotation out from Flipside, or at least towards Pop Dog. They know that they have brown halls. They are setting up the grenades onto A site, but in the meantime, they're rotating over towards B with that bomb. Lekro is here looking towards upper, but he might be greeted in just a second here. Yep, the push begins. He hears it. Drops the bomb carrier. That's a start, but he needed to get a second kill.
And they desperately needed some help as well. Flusher has claimed himself a kill in the meanwhile. He's doing damage to them. Electronics low. Will that it's not too healthy himself. Maybe Flusher has this in his back pocket. Or maybe not. Will that it lands the shot and GODSENT will get punished. And I think that probably will give them second thoughts about playing aggressively again, because you are effectively walking into a very slow T side.
I suppose it's more like you want to play aggressive, you just don't want to overstay your welcome. And I think that maybe that was it. They were trying to force it for too long, perhaps thinking they had Markelov pinned down. But that was, yeah, that's a tough scenario there for GODSENT, because the flip side of that is JW, he had the angle on World Edit when World Edit went for the peak. It just so happened that Markelov was able to win the duel versus Pronax and then take the fight to him. So could break two different ways there. Flesha hoping to get lucky through the smoke, not going to happen. And so once again, flip side, control of Brown Halls. Still playing passive, expecting the aggro from Ali. It's not going to come from GODSENT.
Another thing we really haven't seen from Flipside is fakes. We haven't really seen any, smokes onto a site and fake, or seeing what GODSENT did, even though Lekro a couple of times just got killed for really nothing in return. Flipside not really utilizing a great deal other than very dynamic, I should say, approaches. The smoke's now connecting onto the A side. Could this be the fake? It looks like they're putting a lot of utility down onto A, and indeed it will be. They're going to be faking onto A as they push B, and they're getting quite a lot of success from this. Sure, they're losing players, and it looks like this is going to go against them, but at least they're able to get out onto the site.
It's pretty much exactly what they did in the last round. And now, well, let's see the retake if it's going to happen. Lekro just goes charging through connector smoke, through fire, rather. There's the trade, 1 for 1. Flusha manages to come through again as well, and Markelov just too little HP to really take the fight. He had 10 HP when that fight began, and so a very easy retake here for GODSENT, considering they're able to do tremendous damage to Flipside, as Flipside try to make it out onto the lower site. 14-9 now, GODSENT pretty much just establishing their lead, but because of that last round, Flipside are going to have the money for a buy in this one. No AWP for World Edit, sure, but then everybody else has AKs. They have a great nade count. And so now we have to see if Flipside are going to be able to get the grind. They certainly are capable. I mean, they have that slow, methodical default, but this actually is a change of pace. Here we go, Flipside, trying to go for some aggro.
Definitely respect it. That's what I've been waiting for ages. Is it just a case of too little, too late? Oh, and they originally go for the aggro play, but then they kind of stall. It's almost death by indecision. It's getting picked off one by one through the smoke. It's easy enough for the CTs just keep spraying. Markelov and Waylander are going to try and make a real go of this. Markelov now all by himself. 1 minute 20, does have the bomb. So there are some light patches.
And he abandons his fallen brothers. His teammates who fed themselves into the maw for nothing. 14-9. And GODSENT, they're looking good in this round. 1v3 for Markelov. Not an easy task, but with Flusha there in connector, all they have to do, GODSENT, is stay put. They don't need to really be rotating anywhere. Sit and wait and trust in your ability to go for the retake. You have all of the utility. Markelov has a single Molotov. And that is it.
And it really makes no difference if they get a bomb plant. Maybe a nade or two more, but in the grand scheme of things, it'll be 15-9. And it should be easy from there. So I completely agree. Just stick together. Make sure that you don't 1v1 Markelov. They've got the information now. it should be a formality. This round should be going to GODSENT. Markelov is going to get one before he bites the dust. 15-9, 6 map points for GODSENT. And the fact that Flipside have only yielded 1 round on their T-half, it is not looking too good.
You know, that is the issue. That is also something to consider, is the fact that because they run aggro rounds so rarely, Flipside, when you actually have to go for it, because that's the breaking point for Flipside. When they actually try to change the pace and go fast, it's almost like they don't know what to do, because it just feels like they never practiced it almost, like they never actually go for quick rounds. So we just saw it there in that last round, just massive indecision, not really sure how to follow up. They'd thrown all their nades early, and then nobody was willing to actually run out there. And so now, well, flip side, they've got the pistols. Markelov has got the angle now on Pronax with an AWP. Okay, my mind like disconnected there for a quick second. But yes, he is opping.
I mean, if you want to look at a T side that's explosive and fast, and when they play aggressive, they really just go all in, Cloud9. These guys are unreal on their T rounds when they play aggro. And if you compare that to what we just saw by Flipside, it's night and day. Now, Flipside now going to try and dig themselves out of this very deep ditch. Schneider waiting in the shadows of the smoke. The 2 players have passed him. This could be an absolute massacre. There's the first one spinning across in a second, and he must realize the third is planting the bomb. He had the right idea. He pulls out his sidearm. The bomb's going to get planted, but Electronic goes down right afterwards. And that, ladies and gents, will be this map wrapping up. It's just a case of how many kills can Blade take down with him, and the answer is 0. 16-9 in the end.